Listen, are you ready for Reggie's expression? Heal a little more with Reggie's expression. Calm down where the talk is real. Reggie's expression. Never neglecting how you feel. Reggie's expression. This is Reggie's expression. This is Reggie's expression.
Hey, welcome back. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope episode for you to listen. Okay, try again. You guys get it. I've been gone for a while. Last episode that I recorded was back in September. September 8th was the last episode. I know that because I just checked it before I got on. And yeah, let me get y'all up to speed, man, because there's been a lot going on. And I'm actually going to make this the series finale. I need a break from a lot of things. And, every day that passes and I don't do an episode, it just sticks in my mind. And I don't like leaving things unfinished. So this is going to be a longer form episode. You might hear a little bit of stuffiness. I'm going to get to all of that. And, there's going to be a little bit of lightheartedness. It's going to be some seriousness that's happening. And then it's going to be a season finale, because we're not ending this series. Reggie's Expressions it's not done yet. I just need a break. So yeah, excuse the stuffiness. Excuse that. And I promise you guys this episode is going to be a great one. So there's a cop. There's a cop car right outside it ain't outside my doors. A couple of doors down past my house. So I don't know what's going on, but I ain't that nosy to figure it out. So maybe I'll have an update for you once this episode is done, but who knows? So last time I recorded was September 8th. This season I had intentions of doing 15 episodes because that's how many I had done in the past. This will be episode 14. So even though last time was episode 14, but I miscounted a few times. So that one's 13, this one's 14. And then we're going to end this season. Okay. So since that episode, Carlos and I, we had a vacation. We actually had something huge happen in our relationship that I'm not going to go too deep into, just simply because I don't have the emotional bandwidth and I'm still, dealing with. What I will say is that it changed our relationship significantly. And I'm still working through some difficulties through that. So I don't think I'll ever get to a place of being able to have that conversation about what took place about that. But just know that I'm working on it, and, we are going to continue to work with each other, I should say, work on ourselves, and continue to do the work to, for us to be the best we can be, mostly for ourselves and then for each other. So excuse my vagueness. It is intentional. Just pray for us just pray for us in general, if that's your thing, just because, prayers are helpful. And some of this shit that I'm going to tell y'all is going to be like, dang, Reggie. And I understand, first world problems are different than other problems. And that doesn't diminish the seriousness of said person who's involved in those things. So I do want y'all to know that I'm not complaining. And the fact that I have to quantify that in any way, shape, or form, that should tell you something. But I'm not complaining. It's just the things that I'm going to, talk to you guys about. Life hadn't hit me this hard since my early 20s. And that was a realization for myself that was just wild. My birthday is a month from now. So I'll be 44. But this year has definitely had a lot of growth in terms of like physical ailments and, just mental state and stuff like that. So yes, I was talking about we did go on a vacation. We went on a vacation the latter part of September until the first. That was actually a fantastic, I was going to say episode, but it was a fantastic time. We went to Belize, Mahogany Bay, which is in Honduras, and Cozumel. And yeah, it was just fantastic, man. It was great, great time. I can assure you that we needed it. And we just had a really good, really good time. It was fantastic. So now we're going to talk about, well, we're going to continue. So that was how we rang in October. We rang in October on vacation. We get back. We got Hurricane Milton to deal with when, a few weeks prior, we had just dealt with Hurricane Helene, which tore up good portions. I think it was like Tallahassee area, a few other areas in Florida, and a good portion of Atlanta was flooded. North Carolina was severely hit. Ohio, a few other places were severely hit by Helena. And then after that, Milton was a super hurricane. We came back from the cruise with information about that. So we had from Sunday until Wednesday talking about Hurricane Milton. And trust me, when I tell you I was freaking exhausted about talking about that fucking hurricane and the severity of it and how it went to a 4 and then it went to a 5 and then it went back to a 4 and now it ain't gonna hit. It was a lot. I don't have to explain to people who are here in Florida. I saw a lot of great think pieces. I follow this young lady by the name of Kyla Lacey. She is amazing. She had one of the best takes when it comes to, people in Florida. A lot of folks were calling, family members, friends were calling us, talking about, y'all need to get out of there, let's go, let's this. And I think whenever those type of hurricanes and things happen, like there's different conversations that are had. Like people are telling us that we should leave, but then there's aspects of people who can't leave, what that really means about the vulnerability of your stuff. Unfortunately, here in the state of Florida, we can't go farther. We can't go far enough. We'd have to literally go outside of the country, the state, like up into northern Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and even with Helene, I'm sorry, that still deemed it to be something that was, dangerous and difficult too, mostly because they ended up going in those areas. So it's really a rock and a hard place. And it was just a lot of people who were stressed out about what was going on because it was national news, sensationalized by, TV, whoever news, channel you listen to. It really was all over everybody's timeline. So people were acting out and causing us to, just really panic more from the folks who lived here. But Kyla said, you have to check and see if your anxiety is really like valid or if it's just because you are, going through it yourself and you're needing some way to feel better about it. And I thought that was very poignant. You may know her or be aware of her through the White People poem. It's not Dear White People. It's where she talks about racism. And I'm going to take some time to, hold on. Her poem about white privilege. That was my introduction into her. She talks about, her boyfriend ain't got a girlfriend. That was another poem that she did. And I've seen her live. I've followed her. Kyla's amazing. So Kyla Janae Lacey, go follow her on all Instagrams and all the Facebooks and, TikTok. She's an amazing artist and I just love her. So, she had a very good take that I enjoyed that I think you guys should just take some time to get to know her as a person because she's great. She tells her life through her stories, through her poems. Very animated, very poignant, and extremely thought-provoking. So shout out to her. So yeah, so we came back from the cruise having to deal with that, just the heightened stress of all of that. And it was just really fucking with my mental. I had to take some time away, from social media and all the other things because it was just too much. It's become too much. So we bared well from that. I mean, our mental our mental was fucked up, but we were physically unharmed. And, when I say we, me and Carlos, we didn't have any damage. We had a few flickers of light and a very noisy Thursday morning. Otherwise, we didn't have very much damage. I think the death toll might have been right, 2025, which, is great. Any loss of life is always horrible, but, considering, the massiveness of this storm, I kind of expected more, similar to the numbers that we had in Helene, but, you know, grateful nonetheless. And, so that happened later on in October. Well, when I got back from Tampa, Carlos and I had parked our vehicle at a garage, got back, everything was fine. And parked at a garage when we were in the not hurricane, but on our cruise. Weird stuff started happening to my vehicle with all the lights. Now, I had just upgraded my vehicle in August, and upgrading my vehicle was just something that I did because Carlos had really gotten his, and I wanted to get another one, if I'm being completely honest. And we had matching colors, and everything was beautiful. And yeah, I started having issues where, it's difficult for a lay person like myself to explain it, but the safety feature lights all started to come on. I started having weird electrical things. It just seems like a lot of the safety sensors and features were, glitching. I took a recording of it and I took it to the shop. My vehicle ended up being in the shop still in the shop. 2.5 weeks of that time, I did not have a vehicle. I wasn't fighting with where I got my vehicle at. I wasn't fighting. I think I was being passive aggressive. And it was just because I was like, I just got this car. I don't understand what's going on with it. Why am I having these issues? And, the fact that there was no real accommodation for a lot of things that was happening. Service team was not the greatest, if the worst I've experienced since having this car. Having a car, or having cars, I should say. So and it really didn't seem to have an upside. So basically, the rest of October, my vehicle is in the shop. I finally get a rental, and then I had one of the worst back spasms I've ever had. I don't get back spasms to begin with anyway, so to have one was weird. I was hanging out, chilling and shit at damn McDonald's, and one day this jolt just came through my back, and it just took my breath away, and I had a tough time walking out of that place. I also had a tough time getting into my vehicle. That took about 2 to 3 weeks for it to really kind of normalize. Right now, I'm not in pain, but, it does kind of rear its ugly head sometimes whenever I'm like sitting, if I'm sitting too long. But it was 2 weeks of straight pain. I would say on average a 7 or 8. And I have low pain tolerance, so 7 or 8 to me could probably be 2 to 3 to somebody else. But, again, I'm not dismissing it because it's my experience. This is what I went through. It was painful. I luckily had a doctor's appointment with the VA. I was able to get the VA to do, they didn't give me any medical. And I'm not a guy who likes to do any type of medical stuff anyway, but they didn't give me any medical medicine is what I'm trying to say. They gave me medical attention, but no medicine. I ended up getting these TENS zappers. I'm gonna call them zappers. I don't know the 10 pulse, whatever you want to call it. They're supposed to, help when you have pain. You can just kind of do them for 30 to 40 minutes at a time, and they're supposed to I think it works, because when I have them, the pain is is pretty much gone. So, you know, I just put them on my back and then just kind of go and do my thing. I had them do x-rays for my kidneys. I had them do back x-rays and stuff like that. And I just got the results. They said I was fine. So I don't know what that was, but it's something I'm still kind of dealing with. I'll have a spasm here and there, but they couldn't really call what it was. So it is something that I'm feeling I'm having to, I have to be considerate of in terms of my overall well-being and having to pay attention to. So that happened. I randomly one day decided to go down to the place I got my vehicle. And when I did, this finance person that sold me the car was like, hey, come back over. We start working on this deal. We get a upgrade to the upgrade and just give me some time. Have to rework the deal. We got some stuff going on. I still hadn't got any word on whether I'm getting my old vehicle back but I'm in the new vehicle now. And that was a whole bunch of, it wasn't a lot of drama. It was easy to get me in the car. It was just, I did it the day after the election, which I probably shouldn't have done. Oh yeah, the election happened. And that was, my candidate didn't win. And it was just a lot of realization and sadness for me that I don't really want to rehash, just simply because I'm still dealing with the emotional aspects of it, but needless to say, it is something that I'm still grieving. And, hopefully I'll get to a place of normalcy. But right now, I'm not. And I'm definitely affected by the decision to put in office a person who is misogynistic, racist, xenophobic, not smart, 34-time convicted felon. And a lot of you guys may disagree with me, and that's quite all right. And I'm also not here for the bullshit. Like, I don't need you to explain to me your rhetoric I don't care. I'm not interested. It's just, the things that I'm saying aren't things that throwing out there is like suggestions. Like, these things I've seen and heard myself. So, but yeah, the election happened. I did it the day after the election, go in and, work it. Because I had to go to the doctor and I was off that day. So I went to the shop to just talk to the service lady, because I was like, man, what's going on with my vehicle, y'all? Like, I'm in this freaking rental still. Ain't nobody called me in a week or so. No one's giving me any updates. So finance man gets me in the vehicle. He said, give me some time. Basically, that is still going on. That was the first week. So November 6th, it is now November 17th. So 11 days. I don't know the terms of the deal. I'm intentionally leaving out the name of you guys have probably heard me talk about the name of the vehicle, but I'm intentionally taking out the name of the dealership because it's still ongoing and I just don't want any drama to be added to my situation, because people do listen to this podcast. I haven't had any strange occurrences where people be like, or nothing like that. I just know how word travels, and these are the kind of things that internet people, like to tag on, and I just don't want a viral moment where I'm like bashing this company and, they've gone, they've done things that I might not have been able to see behind the scenes and done things to make me have this vehicle. And, I'm over here shitting on them. You know what I'm saying? But I can say that I'm still unclear. I got to go back up to the shop again on Monday for us to finalize it and get everything going. Who knows? I don't know. I was there on Saturday. I went back on my own on Saturday just to check in with them, like, hey man, what's going on? And they were really busy. So they told me to come back on Monday. So I get the vehicle that Friday. I had the vehicle 2 days. I drove that car from my house. No, from the dealership to my home. It sat in my yard for 2 days because I don't drive. I don't, anything outside of like my days off, I don't drive my vehicle often. We typically take Carlos's. And also with me not having a vehicle for a number of weeks, I really didn't have any other alternatives. I just had to, so kind of gotten used to a routine of not having a vehicle. So brought it home and stayed home for 2 days. Me and Carlos is on our way to dinner after we go down to the dealership for them to tell us to give us until that next Monday. And they told me, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay. We're on the turnpike. We hear this sound. It's our tire. Tire is ripped to freaking shreds. Not ripped to shreds, but it's like torn around the side of it. The guy said it was probably a defective tire. Changed it. Kia Connect came out. They changed it. It was a very nice guy. And I was just kind of like, in suspension, like, wow, this is real? Like, what the fuck? And they changed the tire, put the little donut on there. I had to take the back roads home afterwards. Took it down to the dealership. They changed the vehicle. I had a wedding that day. So we ran to the wedding, came back to Orlando, was able to get my car. They fixed the tire. They gave me another one for free. And then I get my car back and the tail light is cracked. So while they had my vehicle, my tail light is cracked. I was really apprehensive about saying something to somebody because I thought that they were going to like try to blame me. But it's like, I didn't do it. So, when I went back up there this Saturday, they told me they're going to address all those things and, take care of it. They're just waiting to try to see if they can give me a better deal than what they did. So here we go. We'll see what happens. I still don't know. I know it's going to be a little bit more a month. I also knew that I was going to have to pay a down payment as well for whatever reason, because I don't usually pay down payments. I know that they'll make a big difference, but it's just, I think it's really just the security of how serious I am about the deal. But I mean, this is my fifth vehicle with them. So I should be good. My credit ain't dropped that significantly between then and, when I purchased the car. I know it's changed, but, when you're Black, any changes, it's like a big damn difference. So whatever. So I digress. I wait it out, see what happens. And I'm ready for that to be over. Oh, I also started the weight loss medicine Wegovy, semaglutide. Some of you guys may be aware of the weight loss drug Ozempic. Wegovy is just another version of that. I was able to get it approved based on, the military. And that has been interesting. The first few weeks of me taking it, I haven't had any nausea, which is what people talk about most often. But the second week of me being on it, or it would have been my second shot, that's when my back pain happened, and I thought maybe it had something to do with that. My doctor said that he doesn't think that that's the case, but some people, it's just one of those uncommon side effects. So, it's probably just a coincidence that it happened, but, there's no real way to tell. And to be honest, if I'm being completely honest myself, I don't think it's that. I don't really know, though. I'm not a doctor. But sometimes your body it has chemicals that you activate them at the right time. It's just weird shit happens. So, and then I just did my 4th week one. Well, today will be my very first week of taking 0.5, which is going to be double, right? In concern, in this 4th week, I did get food poisoning, which didn't have anything to do with this. I got food poisoning from food that I ate that was prepared here at the house. It was a piece of sausage that might have been a little uncooked. Might have been, because I don't truly know. I did see some red in sausage, but I've never looked at sausage like closely before in the sausage. And I know Carlos didn't do it intentionally, so I'm not blaming him at all. But I asked, I was like, I wonder, does that mean anything? Does it mean it's uncooked or whatever? He was like, oh, no, you should be good. I ate it because I was hungry. And then a few hours later, I started to get sick. By the time we went to bed, I'm shivering and I know I had a fever. He said that he didn't feel it, but I had fever symptoms. I was shaking, I was hot. My face was hot, but my body was cold, shivering. And then when I woke up the next morning, I was throwing up bile. And yeah, it just triggered, just the immune system being in, proactiveness, trying to find out what was going on. I didn't have any other sickness. I had, what do you call it? Sore throat, but I think that could have been because of the me throwing up. Maybe that was irritating. I don't know. But I did have a little bit of sore throat. It didn't stop me from, being able to like swallow, but it was enough of a nuisance for me to acknowledge it. And the very first day, like I ate crackers. I did drink Gatorade. I also drank Coke. I mean, I was really afraid to eat. And I still am in that mode because, the nausea comes back. It just seems like it's constant. The last couple of days, I've gotten some nauseum pills. I also got some ginger chews, which do help. I mean, the ginger chew, I'm not a fan of ginger, but honestly, it's not that bad. I can have a little chew. It's like chewy. I mean, like it's very, very, it's not the most tastiest thing, but I can stomach it. I can eat it and it actually helps, with like, you know, appeasing my stomach. I had a little bit of a false alarm yesterday because I thought, oh, full-fledged, I can eat. No, I had enough. I was able to eat and stomach, but I ended up having to go to the restroom fairly quickly. And I reached my limit of how much I could eat that fast. And then I really didn't feel like eating much more after that. But we ended up eating what we had from the night before, which I normally don't do that because I will eat it on Monday. But I went to this place called Domu, which is a really, really lovely ramen place. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I was able to eat a little bit of that. And it was good for my soul. I also had a few bowls of chicken noodle soup too. So it was cool. I ate that and I really didn't have any issues with trying to eat. But I can probably count on my hands how many times I ate this week. What day was it? I think it was the day after it was that Wednesday. And Carlos was like, oh, what do you want to eat? He cooked brisket. The brisket smelled amazing. I ate one bite and I was like, I tried to eat the salad. I couldn't. And it's like, oh, what are you going to eat? And I'm like, I don't want food. I'm not going to be able to eat it. I ate one hot dog the very next day later because he made chili dogs. And, I barely ate that. So, yeah, a lot going on, man. Pretty eventful October. My friend is like, man, you were batting zero, bro. Yeah, striking out here. It's been tumultuous. So I don't know what to name all of this. I, was having a realization with Carlos. I'm like, damn, considering all the shit that's been going on, man, I feel like I've had a very fucking crazy fall. You know what I'm saying? Like, this fall has been crazy, you know? And I had to own up to it. It's like, yeah, you've had a pretty fucking eventful fall, man. You had a strong strong few weeks, man. It's been, I talked to my buddy Sam yesterday. We went over to his house and it was good to kind of get a lot of that stuff off my chest. But, a lot of times you just don't want to come off as a brat or like you're bragging or whatever. But I had to tell myself, even though that, some people may feel that way, it doesn't diminish how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Like going through the things that I'm going through, the exhaustion, the overstimulants of things, and just being completely zapped of any energy of what, you know what I'm saying? And you want to have some sense of normalcy. But I do feel like this, if I continue to take the Wegovy, like if I take the Wegovy and it actually has that nauseating feeling that everybody's talking about, I think that I'm going to stop. I will say this though, in the 4 weeks that I've been taking it, I have lost, I want to say 8 pounds. So I think I've lost 8 pounds. I'm 290 pounds now. I started around the 300 mark. I know when I weighed myself prior to me being sick, and it could have just been a whole series of things, but when I went to the doctor on the 6th, it said 303. I also know that I had about 5 or 6 pounds of clothes on. I had my phone in my pocket, my wallet. So that probably put me at 298, and I'm at 290 now. So yeah, 8 pounds, give or take. And that could have been within the last, yeah, I would say 12 days. Yeah. In the last 12 days, I've lost it. And a lot of that could have been, a good amount of it had been, with this week, me not eating and, just barely drinking enough. I've been, doing my liquids, my water and stuff like that. But, in terms of like eating for substance, nah, I haven't. Mm-mm. Um, you know, I ain't gonna lie. Last night I did crave like McDonald's fries, but I ain't had the energy to go. And then also my taste buds have still been a little weird. You know how when you get sick sometimes and it has that, like I felt like your taste buds diminish like half. You know, things were still tasting a little weird, and I was like, I don't want to. I'm going. That's gonna make me sick. So I was like, no. We ended up going home. I just drank some water, had a little bit of milk, and then went to bed. So you know. But I have to get back to, I gotta eat. I just hope that it's not Wegovy that's causing this, because if it is, I'm gonna have to tell them it's a hard no. I'm not gonna lose weight, because this is definitely diminishing the quality of my life. And honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. My decision to take it, like, I don't know if I told y'all, but earlier this year I was taking Orlistat, which, similar situation. I actually ended up losing a good portion of weight. And then at one point I started to gain it back, but I stopped taking Orlistat because I think I had a stomach issue at some point, and I was just like, you should probably not taking it. So I stopped taking it. It was something I had to go to the doctor for, something I had to go to the urgent care for. I don't really remember the specifics of it, but I stopped taking it. And a lot of times when you take these medicines, unfortunately, the way they work is if you don't take them, it will come back. Your weight will come back. So I didn't work with my doctor to get that squared away. I was taking it, loosely here and there. I was barely working out, barely going to the gym, doing all those things. My body may be going through a version of a reset right now because of the medicine. I don't really know. And the more I talk to my doctors, the more unsure I feel, because unless they're in my body, they can't really tell me what is going on. I have to explain it to them. And I can explain it as best I can, but some of the things I feel like their educated guesses are just the same as mine, if I'm being completely real about it. They're not giving me anything that's definitive. So, yeah, I can guess. You know what I'm saying? I don't know specifically if it was food poisoning, but I can tell you that as soon as I ate that sausage, not as soon, but a couple hours later, going through the digestive process, I started to feel sick. That sounds like food poisoning to me. I've experienced food poisoning enough to know that that is a symptom. You know, some people would think that it's a stomach flu, but stomach flus typically don't happen until about 24 hours after, food is eaten or digest or whatever. So now, y'all, it could be the day before I had with the food I had. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's no way for me to know. But I do know that it was something that caused me to not be able to eat. So whatever. So yeah, I mean, at the end of it all, like, it has definitely stressed me out. I'm okay today. It's probably the most talking I've done in a long time. Considering what I am going to eat, I have no idea. And I'm just at a space where I don't really know what else to do at this point. I'm just maintaining a level of positivity and keeping my head focused and, trying to stay positive as best as I can, but also acknowledging that, I am different and I don't really understand or know why. So, yeah. So that was some pretty heavy shit, huh? What else? Um, Carlos and I are going to go to Mexico here on the 4th through the 9th. So we will be spending our anniversary in Cancun. So we're excited about that. We got some other stuff that's planned at the beginning of the year. I just have not pull the trigger on anything right now, just because of the level of uncertainty I have about a lot of things. So just kind of taking it lightly, researching as much as I possibly can before I do anything, because I don't want to obligate myself into some other stuff and stuff that I my niece is doing well. She's going to be going to Indiana sometime in December. I'm excited for her. She won't be here for Christmas or New Year's. But if I'm being honest, Christmas and New Year's right now, like, it's like, okay, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing I could really, I haven't really felt like I'm in the festive mood lately. It's really difficult for me to say for right now, simply because, I've had a lot of things that are going on. So just pray for some, or have thoughts and prayers of, some good positive juju coming up for me. And, we're going to finish out this year. We're going to celebrate, number 44. We're going to celebrate 2025, and then whatever 2025, goals are going to have set. Work has been great. I do want to start considering the next phase of my career. I'm interested in other aspects and parts of my claims job. I don't know what I want to do. And there's a lot of, steps and things to it. So I'm excited about that. I have a lot of great things to look forward to. Carlos is continuing to grow with his company, and the girl with, Universal, working for Universal. So I'm excited about that with him. And yeah, we just doing the thing. I do want to say this before I go, and I know this is going to be outside the topic, but I just want to put this on wax, put this on record, just so your boy can say it. If I can think of some other rants, I want to. This is twofold. Can we stop saying that Beyonce stole A-Marie's style? Can we stop saying that? Because A-Marie and Beyonce are great in their own right. A-Marie was very instrumental in bringing that DC go-go sound, drums, bass, all of that to the forefront. She did that with One Thing. And I would dare say that some of the stuff that she did in the first album, just the instrumentals and his production value have, those sounds are very DC sounds to me, but if we're going to say what definitely took the producer, Rich Harrison, on the map was the stuff that he did around the 2003, 2005, 2007 time frame. And he was a collaborator of Beyonce as well. Okay. What happens a lot of times is when they got a hot producer, when record labels have hot producers, they'll write a song for this person or this person. It didn't work out for this one. It's a, supposedly very organic system when it comes to music. And sometimes if somebody don't like it, somebody else may, And, Beyonce had a lot of songs that were produced by Rich Harrison because it was a different type of sound. And it was interesting and new. That was, ushered in by, A-Marie when she did One Thing. And they were they collaborated with each other. When I say they, I mean Rich Harrison and A-Marie. They collaborated. He wrote her whole first album. Okay. Second album, A-Marie, the pen comes out a little bit more. And, he produces a great portion of the album, if not the whole entire album. And he had some really amazing hits on there. Talking about Rolling Down My Face, Touch. I think Lil Jon produced Touch. And, famously, One Thing. Around that same time frame, you had Jennifer Lopez, Get Right. You had Beyonce's Crazy in Love. You also had Beyonce's Freakum Dress. You also had, a whole bunch of, Jennifer Lopez Get Right was originally recorded by Usher. Okay. So that tells you how big and small the record label happens to be. Why does this matter? Because I always see this narrative. I just be trying to be entertaining myself by listening to some A. Marie, and I'll see a comment where people will talk about Beyonce stole her style, and I get into this whole fucking rabbit hole of people going back and forth. And then it brings me to my next point. Two things can happen at the same time. Two women can be great. Beyonce is great. We can't deny the things that she's done, whether she stole the things that she stole from people or whatever. She's great at what she's done. And I feel like at this point, we are just, diminishing her value by saying dumb shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We're diminishing her reach by saying dumb shit like that. And we're also doing the same thing with A. Marie when we sit here and we say that, we failed her. The only reason why we failed her is because we are still continuing these same fucking talking points about her career. You can still support A. Marie and blast her music loudly, and I'm pretty sure she would appreciate it. She has an album that's coming out pretty soon, hopefully. She did talk about, the only reason I know that is because I've been listening. She's been talking about, on her Instagram, she did a live where, she was writing a song and doing layers for a song that was coming up, that was going to be on an album of hers coming up. And it is going to have a lot to do with the first and second album, which I'm excited about. So we pit women against each other more often than we do men against each other. You never see Usher and Chris Brown. We understand and know that they're both great. We never see people talk about Jagged Edge and freaking, what's another? 112. We ain't saying that them men are in competition with each other. We all understand that they're both great in their own right. Why do we do it to women? I know why we do it. Misogyny. That's why. That's why we do it. Patriarchy and everything else. I want that narrative to go bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? I want A. Marie to be able to do her thing. I want Beyonce to be able to do her thing. I want Kehlani to be able to do her thing. I want her to be able to do her thing. I want Summer Walker to be able to do her thing. I want, Glorilla to be able to do her thing. I want, Shawty Red or Sexy Red to do her thing. I want Lil' Kim to be able to do hers. I want Eve to be able to do hers. By the way, if you hadn't read that book, you need to go read it. It was a great book. Eve, I want her to do her thing. I want, Doja Cat to be able to do hers. I want everybody to win. And there's so much fucking money out there for everybody to be able to win. I want Ari Lennox to do her shit. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to win. So when we pit women against each other, we're doing ourselves a disservice with perpetuating that lie that two women can't be great at the same time. Okay? All right. So let's give it a rest. Let's let that go. We have a lot more shit to deal with in this world than to continue to keep these lame-ass arguments going. Somebody said, and I know I let a comment get me off on a tangent, but somebody said something along the lines that Beyonce should be thanking A. Marie. I'm like, okay. And at some point I'm not going to lie, I've fallen into those traps too, just because that's just the way it is. But when you free yourself of those things, you understand that people can be great well beyond anything that you can comprehend or understand yourself. The easier life going to be on you. And that's the truth. So that's all I got today, guys. It has always been a pleasure. You can find me on social media at ARE_EL_Socorro Garner on Instagram. You can find me at RL Socorro Garner, spelled just the way I spelled it, Socorro-Garner, and that's on Facebook. You can find me at Reggie's Expressions on TikTok. And you can also go and follow RC Weddings and Notary Services. And you can also follow Reggie's Expressions on Instagram as well. REGGEES Expressions altogether. It's been a while. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I hope this episode was great for you. We're at 48 minutes and 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52 seconds. Allow me some time to get a break. Shout out to Singapore. Singapore downloaded my podcast 48 times or 45 times. So I'm appreciative to that. Whoever reposted me in Singapore, thank you so much. I don't know what any of that means, but that's great. I'm excited about that. And I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to go back and listen to those previous episodes. Remember, this started in 2020, a little bit before the pandemic. Y'all can go on a journey of seeing how horrible the the audio might have been, see us learn, also see the production value go up, see me with, see me without, and just enjoy yourselves. Please continue to support and show love. I appreciate y'all in every way, shape, or form. I want you guys to have a good Thanksgiving. I want y'all to have a good Christmas. I want y'all to have a good anniversary of mine, which will be 9 years for me and Carlos, December 5th. And I want you guys to have a good December 17th, which is my birthday. I want y'all to have a good day on that. And just want you guys to have all of the things that you're looking for. I hope your year continues to prosper and do great things. And I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. Thank you so much for helping me out and getting me to where I need to get. Let's not stop there. Continue to trust me with, giving you the best that I can. And yeah, if you guys can, please also give reviews to the podcast, because that all helps the algorithm. I know the last 10 minutes was me begging, but you know what? I got to do it. What they say, what my grandma used to say, closed mouth don't get fed. So I'm asking because I know y'all will do it. So I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of your day. Peace. Have a good 2025. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.